Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel.
I had to put on my reaching hat. Hear me out. Hi, thank you for clicking. I have gotten some new subscribers. Thank you guys so much for subscribing and welcome to the tinfoil hat family. Is that what we are? Maybe. If you're an OG subscriber, you guys know how I feel about you. You have gotten me to this point and I cannot thank you for your support enough. If you're new here, hi. I wear a tinfoil hat. I talk about true crime and conspiracies, and a lot of times both, as is in this case. If any of that interests you at any point during this video, I highly encourage you to subscribe. It really does help me out. Quick little disclaimer, my sources are always going to be listed below in my description box. I may not get to everything that I researched, so if you check my sources, you kind of get a full picture of what I've been doing. Also, I have a Lori Vallow playlist and I'll have that link down below as well. Okay, let's get into the video. So as you guys know, I got Chad Daybell's book about being a cemetery sexton from a third party, and after finishing that book, I felt like I needed to read his autobiography. I had a lot more questions. So I got it, also from a third party, don't worry, and holy whatever. So the first thing I want to show you guys is possibly the creepiest thing I've ever seen a child produce, and that is Chad's first book. Look at this. Oh, and guess what it's about? Murder. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. The murder of Dr. J and his assistant. Chad was in 4th grade when he wrote this book. What kid writes their first book about a murder, right, with what looks like the creepiest bird I've ever seen in my life, right? This wasn't the only time that Chad showed interest in killing as a kid. There is a horrific passage in his book where he discusses something that is a very common early sign that somebody's about to be a serial killer. Listen to this. One day that spring, I was slowly walking home across Memorial Park after school, and I saw a honeybee pollinating a dandelion. I peered at it for a moment, then smashed it with my shoe. I spotted another one, then another one. I got a strange satisfaction from it. I kept count, and after about half an hour, I had killed 120 bees. Now, you want to talk about a red flag? That's a red flag. First of all, getting a strange satisfaction from killing animals for no good reason. It's not like he's gonna eat them or he's hunting or whatever. He just saw something and just smashed them in a fit of rage and then got a strange satisfaction and was keeping count. To be in that state of rage of killing for half an hour, that's a long time. And then the whole strange satisfaction thing, honestly, I hope he's in general population right now and some huge buff guy is getting a strange satisfaction from him. Then when you read about him being a gravedigger, he had this disrespect for life. He is constantly mocking the dead, making jokes about their family. At one point, he even laughs about some rich guy who had a coffin that was too big for the grave that they dug, and that the family insisted they make it work. And so they end up putting this body in a septic tank, and then they're laughing about it. He's laughing about it in the book, like this guy deserves to be in the septic tank. What the hell, man? And he's supposed to be religious, and this is how you treat the dead? Like, I don't know. I thought that you're supposed to respect the dead, you know, other than like Hitler or Bin Laden or something. You're kind of supposed to respect the dead. Okay, now I want to talk about a theory. I want you guys to let me know if my foil hat is cutting off my circulation, or maybe the signals are coming in clear. What has my life become? I think I may have gotten to the root of why malachite is so significant to Lori and Chad. If you're new here, I have been talking about malachite for a while. It all started when we got Ian Pawlowski's statement where they mentioned a healing malachite or balm that does spiritual healing, you know, like maybe from a zombie possession or something. But we'll be talking about that in a second. Now, Lori, who her email is Lori4Style, she gets $6,000 a month. She was loving the good life. She's always had a taste for the finer things. And I always found it really, really weird that she was okay with a $30-something wedding ring, and that was her malachite ring. So you've got the malachite ring, you've got the malachite balm, and then you've got the possibility of the poisoning by malachite, because we have discovered that when ingested in a solution, malachite is toxic and can kill you. Knowing all of this, when I read this passage, something clicked. Listen to this. When the angel Moroni visited young Joseph Smith in his bedroom in 1827, he quoted Malachi a little differently than in the Bible. Is it just me, or does Malachi sound awfully similar to Malachite? Malachi, Malachite, Malachite, Malachi. And the spelling is identical. I mean, if it looks like a pig, I'm just saying, you know. Several things stood out to me in this passage. Moroni, Joseph Smith, and Malachi. And here's why. If you guys will remember when Charles Vallow, he had those court documents and that body cam footage, and he mentioned how Lori said that she was married to Prophet Moroni in a previous life, and Chad told her that? Remember how Charles also said in those court documents that Lori had called him when he was on that business trip, threatening to kill him, and told him that she had an angel who would help her dispose of the body? Now, some, not all, some LDS believe that Prophet Moroni, when he died, he became Angel Moroni, and that they're one and the same. We also know that Chad told Lori that she used to be the grandmother of Joseph Smith. Joseph Smith is the founder of Mormonism. Are you still with me? Remember Melanie Gibbs' interview where she said that Lori and Chad were telling her that they were married in a previous life, they were sealed, and we know that Lori has been married to Moroni in a previous life. Hear me out. Could it be that Chad thought that he was Moroni in a previous life, and that is the previous marriage that Lori had with Moroni was actually with Chad, and that's the marriage that she had been married to Chad? Am I making sense? Could this reference to Malachi, because Malachi is a prophet as well, and there's a whole book called the Book of Malachi, which I'm going to be getting into soon because that explains a lot. But could Malachite be a reference to Malachi and Moroni and Joseph Smith, which we already know they have a connection to, and it's like some kind of inside reference between Lori and Chad? That's why they got the ring, and then they made this solution. Like, could that all be connected? Which then would mean that the Book of Malachi, the angel Moroni, Joseph Smith, all of that is the root of all of this symbolism, because the Book of Malachi talks about something that Lori and Chad were obsessed with, and that is the second coming of Christ. This is from the official LDS website. Quote, "When Christ comes the second time, it will be in the clouds of heaven. When he comes in the clouds of glory, as it is declared in this message of Malachi to the world, and which was said by Moroni to be near at hand, then Christ will appear." Doctrines of Salvation 3:11. So could Malachite be a representation, a symbol of the end times? And also the Book of Malachi talks a lot about sacrifices and giving sacrifices and offerings to the Lord, which, I don't know, I might be going too far, but I'll let you guys fill in the blanks with that, because I don't even feel comfortable saying that out loud. Because in Chad's books, he talks repeatedly, there's like little references here and there in both books about how death can be healing and how you can be with your eternal family. He viewed death as healing. And then there's that Malachite healing solution or balm. The kids were seen as zombies who needed healing. Could it be that they were doing all this in preparation for the end times, and that this whole Malachite thing was a symbol for that? You tell me nicely. Sorry, I keep saying nicely because, you know, I'm kind of like sensitive. No, I'm very sensitive, and I need to learn how to not be like that for YouTube, because I take the good comments to heart, which by default would mean that I take the bad comments to heart, which I know I need to like work on that. But if you can be kind, I'd appreciate it. Okay, moving on. As usual with this case, I'm always left with more questions than answers. The arms are sore again from the reaching, per usual. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Probably. Usually, yes. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help me out. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.